Is that a Cleveland hat?
Nah, buddy. That's a bee's hat.
Oh, I couldn't tell.
Bees nuts.
And here we go.
Got him.
To the races.
All right. So, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Vikings, Outlaws, and Cowboys. I'm the Arl, and this is my cheeky compadre, the Boat.
What is up, gang? Happy to be here. This is quite the agenda we have tonight.
I got my little dongle here. Just came to hang out.
Yes.
Since we're not using the iPad, I don't know what this little guy's going to do anymore, you know?
Well, I mean, you know.
On to new things, you know?
Yeah, make sure you hang on to
David
him.
Letterman, that shit.
Mixy.
Oh, watch out. You got me full bore on a fucking computer now. Anything could happen. Things are really going to fucking break now.
No.
So what are you drinking?
I'm still working on that same bottle of tequila, man.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I think that's a good thing, you know, in most rooms.
Yeah.
And I'm doing fruit punch haterade this time with it.
Fruit punch. All right.
Mm-hmm. And then I have a couple ranch waters over here just in case we get wild.
Just in case, huh?
Just in case.
Nice.
Yeah. How about you?
I'm just fucking raw dogging it over here. I'm gonna raw dog this whole podcast. I just have water. There might be some Zens in there. I don't know.
Man, wow.
I got a couple. I don't know. Might just try it without nicotine. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, first time for everything.
Yeah, we could really fuck this shit up, right? So we just had ourselves a nice little weekend.
Very nice little weekend. Yeah, you know, it was good. I had a lot of fun. It was relaxing. I needed it. Needed to get the cobwebs out there a little bit. So
The cobwebs, huh? Yeah, you went to bed a little, or you couldn't get going the second day there, could you, pumpkin?
Man, could not get going for shit. It was, half the reason was, I got a little chilly in the trailer. So I was trying to thaw out, but at the same time, I was fighting a hangover. So, you know.
Oh, you're not used to getting those, huh?
No, I don't get them very often anymore. So it was kind of weird.
Welcome.
And then plus, the smoke from the fire, that always, plugs me up a little bit, gives me a little bit of a sinus headache as well. So I'm fighting those off. But while I stumbled upon a really good cast, so I wasn't too sad about that. But
it was bobbing for cock on the couch.
Yeah, it was. Well, that was before I even went into the cabin. That's while I was still in the trailer, and I was hurting, man. I hadn't woke up like that in a while.
The accumulative hangover almost killed you.
Yeah, it was rough. But all in all, it made for a good trip.
Yeah, glad to see you made it. Yeah, it was fun. We had the whole crew up there, just tearing shit up. Yeah, it's nice being in the mountains. It's nice to have a little vacation.
Yeah, and a couple casts ago we talked about FOMO, and I was experiencing a ton of FOMO there about 3:15. Dude, we were playing hacky sack, and I was like, do I have to leave?
I don't want to go.
Just got the trailer fixed. I don't know.
By trailer fixed, I think we need to tell everybody.
No, we don't. We don't. There was a switch. Let's just say it was a switch or two.
I can't do this fucking light right here. I'm gonna fucking throw it. God damn it!
I think I'm leaving that in.
Yeah, you should. Fucking cock ass fucking light bitch. Right in my
Just
fucking eye.
blinded the hell out of you.
Shit, making my eyes fucking water. Getting all fucking emotional over here.
Put on some sunglasses and let's have a
Fuck,
party.
I'm about to do some
Little
nicotine and
bottles
chill the fuck out or something. I don't know.
Gotta do something, guy.
Fucking cock ass light. Anyway. Yeah. So you started to have a little bit of FOMO because we were all having such a good time with our togetherness in the mountains, and you had to fucking go home on Sunday instead of staying, huh?
Yeah, and it's very rare that I see Cliff and Willie get start drinking at like 1. It's very rare that you see that. So
9 o'clock
earlier than that,
as soon as they woke up. Yeah,
I don't know. I heard the other couple get in there and like somewhere around 10 or something like that, and they were already cooking breakfast and stuff. But so I don't know if they were making breakfast cocktails or whatever. But
oh
yeah. So how did the last night end up?
that was good. Ended up actually me, tall guy, and our sister just hanging out around the campfire. Everybody else bailed on us.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Very nice.
Yeah, anyway, so we got a nice little cast going on today. It's enough about us. Let's get into it. So we got our little fire report going. As always, we got some cool shit on the fire report. We actually have some fire news. Let's see.
Yeah.
In our men's mental health, we're talking about disrespect and just kind of current state of the world and how it kind of impacts mental health. I don't think we've really talked about that too much. We've touched on it a little bit. It's fucking light. It's still making me blink. And then conspiracy, you're just gonna have to fucking hang out and wait and see. So suck it.
Suck it.
Yeah, it's like fantasy football season now, right? We're about there. Is this the first week?
You know, it's funny because the last couple of years, well, the audience doesn't know, but we played in a fantasy league for a number of years, and we had a good league going on, and we turned it into a tattoo league. So the loser had to get a tattoo of the winner's choosing, right? So we had fun with that for a couple of years, but we haven't played in quite a while. What's it been, 3 or 4 years, maybe 5? And
yeah, we're probably going on 4 years.
Yeah. And this year is the first time that I've been hit up by like multiple people to see if I wanted to join their leagues. And I don't know, man. I don't know if I can join somebody else's league after we had our own league and we had fun with that. And, we kind of let that fall away gracefully. And I just
starts Friday.
It's just weird jumping in the league with a bunch of dudes you don't know.
Just a bunch of random dudes.
Yeah.
Just leaguing it out.
Like, like 2 people in the league and then the rest you don't know. And like, you can't talk shit the same way and you just feel weird. So,
right. Yeah. You don't want to hurt somebody's feelings.
Yeah.
I got asked to join the league that Vico's in. It's a 12-man league though. And that's rough. That's a ruffian. He said he sent me the link, but I'm still waiting. I haven't seen it.
Well, the players get thin when you got that many guys playing. So,
yeah, I mean, is there that many good players out there anymore anyway?
Just don't know. I stopped doing the research,
Yeah, I don't know. I might have to tell him no. I feel bad. But I don't know if I can get into it, man. Same like you're saying. Like I stopped watching football together. Mm-hmm. So I don't know any of the new people that are in the damn NFL.
Yeah, I know a couple good rookies, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. They're not on teams that I frequent. So, and, it's hard to get, all the games and all the teams here. So you're kind of forced to, because I don't pay for the ticket because I don't watch it enough to make it worth the while, right? Worth the money. So you're forced to go to the bar basically, so then every week you're,
darn it. Gosh darn it. Gosh darn.
You're spending 9 to 13 hours in the fucking bar waiting for your goddamn guys to play.
That's a long time.
Yeah, I mean, it happens.
That's commitment right there. Just to watch the Washington football team.
Hey, I heard they might change the name back.
Yeah, fucking not as fast as they changed it. Dude, they changed it faster than you could say UMTV Raps.
They did, dude. You know, I was listening to a story about it today though, but yeah, they did it, so fast out of not wanting to hurt anybody's feelings.
And then
But
they pissed everybody off because not only did the tribe, it was like a war chief that they modeled it after,
yeah,
and they were happy to have the name. It's like, you fucking cocks.
yeah. So it was like some Karen, throwing a fit about this is disrespectful to the natives, but the natives were behind it. So they changed
Shut
it.
the fuck up, Karen.
Exactly. So they changed it, spend millions and millions of dollars changing the uniforms, all the signage, the stadium stuff, and all that kind of shit. Now just change it back.
I'm so fucking tired of Karens, dude. Just stupid fucking
So
shut the fuck up.
I bet it was like the owner's wife or something like that, or like her sister that he hates.
No way, dude. No way. I can't stand that shit. Fuck, dude. I swear to God. I mean, we might as well just keep, going on the whole sports talk thing, right? Because there's a couple things going on out there, right? So, new segment, sports talk.
Sports talk.
So, yeah, check that out. Just raw dogging the shit out of this podcast, folks. You're here. You get to see it first. Fuck it. Sports
Last
talk.
week we didn't have any video. This week we're adding sports talk on the fucking fly.
Sports talk. We're into fucking fantasy football now.
We're both newscaster in it.
Holy shit. Anyway, yeah, bouncing out of the NFL because whatever. So I was watching the highlights to the Braves Rockies game because you know what really chaps my ass, as some say, is when they fucking black out games in Utah for the Rockies and the Diamondbacks. Like, we have local fucking coverage. Kiss my ass, MLB, and your blackouts.
Yeah, that pisses me off. It's like we're way too far away from them to be blacked out. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, we're not going to go to multiple regular season games.
Right. Well, the thing is, it's like
9 hours away.
Fuck, my favorite team's in Georgia, and you're blacking them out like in Colorado.
So
like, I haven't seen a Rockies Braves game like ever, because even when they're in Georgia, they black it out because they're playing the Rockies. Like, I give a fuck or anybody else does about the Rockies. Fuck, dude.
No shit. It's good whether it's because it's like in a 2-state radius.
Yeah.
Like, bro, come on, man.
Like, if we have a fucking team here, then yeah, black me out or whatever. Or not. It'll be on like KUTV or some shit. But
I mean, no one wants to go to Denver anyway, except Californians, and they're welcome to go.
Yeah, actually go there. Not Utah or Montana. Denver is like a Creed song. It just has their arms wide open.
Yeah, they want you. Bring them you're sick and you're poor and you're tired. Because
yeah, they'll make
they're
you some porridge.
bad as fucking California.
Fucking cocks. I hate Denver. Fuck. Anyway, if you're in Denver, you can get our meat shipped straight to your door. So
don't forget, if you're in the Aurora area.
I forgot what the fuck we were here for a minute. Maybe we shouldn't do sports talk.
Oh man, we're already here.
But seriously though, Whit Mayfield, he got hit in the back of the head by like a 96 mile per hour fastball, and
I didn't see that.
it put him down, right? Put him down for a minute. He got back up, and he it'll be on, I'm sure, like John Boy, where he's reading lips, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be like, learn how to throw the fucking ball, or like get it over the plate or some shit. And he ended up being okay, but like the interview after the game, like the post-game interview, he was lighting in to the MLB and lighten into these fucking pitchers that are up there in the MLB that don't even fucking belong there. He's like, it's bullshit. He's like, because back in the day, we used to be able to retaliate. Now, if we retaliate, then we get fined and kicked out and all kinds of shit. He's like, and then these fucking pitchers don't even have to hit anymore. He's like, so there's no incentive for them to throw the fucking ball and throw it the right way. They're just trying to go all out every single pitch, and they can't hit their fucking targets.
So was it a case of that, or was it a case of like he was headhunting?
No, this pitcher fucking he's a no-namer. Like you could tell by his initial reaction, it was like, oh fuck.
Oh shit.
And then like when he saw him like kind of starting to get up, he started walking over to him, and then Witt was talking shit to him. But dude, stuff like that used to clear the fucking benches back in the day.
Yeah, dude.
And he's right. He's right. There's no fucking retaliation now. That pitcher isn't ever gonna have to fucking hit. Dude, you put a pitcher up there that just beans somebody in the fucking dome, they're gonna get fucking smoked by the other pitcher, you know?
Yeah, it gets away scot-free now, you know? Yeah, that's not really cool.
Yeah, so he was talking about like, you know, the rules commission and stuff like that, and how there was gonna be a long conversation about it today, but I was like, yeah, fucking get him, dude. That's bullshit.
I mean, I'd bring up some sort of grievance, you know what I mean, if I were him.
Yeah, it just seemed kind of like
swap those rules around a little bit.
Yeah, 100%. At least give him something to kind of balance it out, you know? Give him some fines or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like even maybe just a fine, you know what I mean? I mean, you beat somebody, you get $10,000 fine. Boom, right there.
Yeah. I mean, it's not gonna stop some people, but you know, it's like they have these pitchers that they're just bringing up that can throw like 100 miles per hour, and they're not accurate for shit. They're just hoping that, you know, the catcher's setting up down the middle, and they're hoping that they can fucking put it down there. It's like, dude, that's way too fast to be fucking with, especially when there's, you know, somebody else's life up there.
Yeah, with like no good control. Yeah, no, I don't agree with that.
Yeah. I mean, even growing up, you know, we all faced those kids that were wild as shit that could throw hard. You know, you caught off on one. Fuck that. That shit hurts.
It's a nightmare. And then getting beamed by that dude. Like, I'd take one, you know, off the thigh, off the dirt, you know, or in the thigh off the dirt. And that hurt bad enough. But, like, imagine getting beamed by that guy.
Oh, dude. I think the fastest I ever got beamed by was like an 85 mile per hour, and it was right in the fucking hip. So it was actually a pretty solid spot to get beamed in. Like, it could have been way worse.
Yeah, but that creates a bone bruise, though. And that fucking sucks.
Oh, I got hard immediately. And I stole second base. So take that, bone bruise.
At least something good came out of it.
Yeah, me. Anyway.
Yeah.
Well, that's fun. We'll have to put some more shit together for our sports talk next time.
Yeah, I'll have to start watching sports news so we can rip into some assholes on sports talk.
Oh, man, I'd love nothing more than to rip into an asshole.
Right.
This newscaster. I fucking hate ESPN too. It's like the CNN for sports now.
It really is, dude.
It's like if I want like a good sports talk, you got to go to like legit sports radio or fucking like John Boy and Barstool and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Make it fun. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like CNN sports. It's rough, dude.
I ran into a couple good sports casts, like podcasts, earlier this week actually, and you know, I just kind of thumbed through it. I didn't really get into it, but maybe I should have. I will next time. I think they're in my history, so I'll go back and check them out.
Cool. Yeah, we're gonna have to check that out. But let's get on to the fire report. What do you think?
Yes, let's do it.
All right. All right. Let's get on to the fire report, huh? What do you think?
Let's have fun with it. Yeah, there's a lot going on in the fire department.
I have a lot of shit like up on my computer right now, and nothing's crashing too. So that's pretty
Hey,
neat.
that is neat.
Yeah. So apparently the tablet just couldn't take it. So we do have some fire news, at least for us, because you can't even see the sky out here in Utah now.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
But total classic California, Nevada, just causing us problems. So there's a couple new fires. There's the Rocky Fire and the Broome Canyon Fire.
Ooh,
Yeah, Broome Canyon. It's a little over 7,000 acres burned already.
where's
And
Broome?
it's like middle of the state. I guess maybe Middle East, Middle Eastern Nevada. But the one that's close to us is that Rocky one, and it's already got like 330 acres, 340 acres.
Hey, isn't that their one? That one in Idaho is the one that's blowing over all the damn smoke right now, right? Or today, I guess.
There's a really big one in Idaho that's like 108,000 acres.
Oh shit!
Wapiti? Wapiti, yeah. Something like I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. I didn't mean to butcher it, but yeah.
I didn't think they had reservations in Idaho.
Yeah, there's definitely reservations in Idaho. But I don't think it's on a reservation. It's just in the Boise National Forest there. But yeah, so we're definitely getting a whole bunch of smoke. And good news, no fires in Utah, and there's no new ones in Montana.
Hey, all right, we're safe for the time being, except for smoke inhalation.
Yeah, so if you're sensitive, don't go outside. Good news though, Mexico has no major fires still.
Still leading back. Yes.
You know,
yes.
the Mexicans really know. And I'm not even going to go back to Africa again because that motherfucker is on fire like all over. So
oh man.
Yeah.
That is unfortunate.
Yeah, that is. It's already hot there, and it's just getting hotter.
Warmer
and warmer
and warmer.
Yeah, it's like that fucking Nintendo game, NBA Jam. It's heating up.
I'm surprised the state of Arizona, just as a whole, hasn't just caught fire like that. They said 100 days over 100 degrees this summer.
Yeah, I think so. Let's see.
That is absolutely wild.
Their biggest one is 3,500 acres. It's burned 3,500 acres. That's it.
In Arizona?
Yeah, in Arizona. That's it.
Wow.
Yeah. It's pretty impressive. But I don't know what the fuck Washington's doing. For as much as it rains up there, and Oregon, same with you. You guys are on the fucking fire report. You guys need to get some Mexicans up there to fight those fires.
Yeah, somebody needs to call Mexico and see what they're doing so you can replicate it up there. That is terrible.
Yeah, I'm surprised they're not actually sending like fire services like from the surrounding states up there. I haven't heard like of Utah sending anybody because that whole damn state's on fire.
Which one? Washington?
Oregon and Idaho, actually.
Oh, Oregon and Idaho.
Like pretty much all of Yellowstone's on fire. Or around Yellowstone anyway.
That sucks.
Yeah. Old Faithful will put it out.
Or make it worse.
Just kidding. I can't even fucking find. Oh, there it is. Yellowstone's not on fire. I'm an idiot. Wrong direction, asshole. Anyway. You got anybody? Yeah, I went too far north. Maps are fucking hard. Anyway,
yeah.
Is there anybody you want to put on the fire report? Good, bad?
Fire report. Well, I just added Denver to the fire report.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. Let's just go ahead and for all the dipshit stuff that's going on in Denver. Yeah, I'm gonna put them on the fire report. Hope you guys can clean that up and get off the fire report next week because shit's going wild down
Did you
there.
see that the Hells Angels were riding up there?
I heard a couple stories, but I didn't see that any of them that were substantiated.
I didn't see their patches or anything either. I saw a big group of bikers, which, people tend to get together and ride their bikes in a pack, but I didn't see any like patches that said Hells Angels.
Well, and the videos that I saw too, they were debunked because those videos were taken from like a big Sturgis ride one year, like a few years back, and then another one was taken from a ride actually going to somewhere in Denver for some sort of bike fest or something like that. So the two that I saw, that they were debunked because it was old footage, and like you said, same thing. There were no HA patches on there. And then I heard an interview with a gal, and she made a really good point. Well, it was actually with the dude first, and then she was reiterating his point, and I'll paraphrase this, but basically, he's just saying that usually 1% clubs don't get involved in situations like that publicly. Number one, and then number two, they don't really get involved with stuff like that unless one of their own has been hurt or killed or compromised, or like an old lady or a friend of the club or something like that. So they wouldn't do it out of just like public service, quote unquote.
Yeah.
They'd have to have a reason to go down there, outside of public service, that someone's compromised their own or something like that. So in that sense, I can't, confirm or deny those claims. However, it would be pretty fucking cool if they just went down there and cleaned house. I tell you that much. Them, right. And like, whoever their sister clubs are, that'd be pretty cool. And I'd like to see footage of that.
Yeah, I'd like to see like dash cam footage of it, or like GoPro stuff.
GoPro stuff.
Yeah, I'm not, calling for violence or anything, but I mean, if you guys go down there, like, make sure you guys videotape it. Somebody's got to do the job. I mean, Denver PD is not doing it. Like, they're backing off of everything. It doesn't seem like their state representatives are doing a hell of a lot to protect them either. So, yeah, if you're in Denver, make sure that you have a good, I guess, fire suppression system and a gun.
Well, I guess people are just leaving there in droves. At least like the Denver metro and the Aurora area, they're just leaving because they're afraid of the violence. And I don't blame them. I just hope they go either south or not here.
Yeah, I hope they go back to California. Like, I hear San Francisco's open. Tons of good spots in San Francisco. You guys can, like, all over. It'll be awesome. There's even some spots, over in Sacktown. Tons of spots open over there. I hear the real estate's cheap.
Tons of abandoned buildings and homes.
Yeah, I mean, really, you could really make a home there. But yeah, I don't know, man. These fucking people.
I just kind of, I mean, I'm waiting for him to call in the National Guard, really, or something, some sort of state assistance, and see what's happening. The local government and the mayor's saying that there are false claims and stuff like that, but the governor come out and he said, "Nah, this is really happening. This is going down, and we don't know what to do." Basically, The
shitty thing is about it too is like they're making it a political issue when it shouldn't be a political issue.
No.
And the reason why it's becoming a political issue is because they came over the border because of our open border policy, and now they're wreaking havoc. And now, if they admit, "Oh yeah, we fucked up," it's illegals and gangs from Venezuela or whatever the fuck they're from, then all of a sudden, oh shit, we just admit we fucked up. So I don't know. I think it's pretty stupid that people getting fucked up and having their stuff wrecked and stuff, is becoming a political issue instead of just a bipartisan. Let's go fuck these guys up and get them out of here and get them sent back to wherever the hell they came from, or throw them in jail.
Well, the fucked up thing is too about the people that are being victimized. It's women, children, elderly, and they can't fend for themselves. Or defend themselves.
Yeah, it's pretty bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody else to add to the fire report? Fuck you, Denver government.
I have one more person, entity, I guess, to put on the fire report. I was gonna add a third, but I don't want to bring Drawl into the cast any more than we already have. Alexa.
Oh, I saw that one. That's a good one. I like that one.
Putting Alexa on the fire report.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody's heard this by now, but basically, if you asked Alexa why should I vote for Trump, she was saying that she can't get involved in political rhetoric, blah blah blah. But if you asked why should you vote for Kamala, she starts spouting out reasons why you should vote for Kamala, right? Amazon came out today with a statement saying it was a mistake on their part. They didn't, somebody messed up with the programming or something like that. And so now it says it got changed to, I don't think bots should influence elections.
Yeah, AI should probably stay out of the whole, election cycle.
Yeah, which, it bothers me in many ways. It would have bothered me if even if they gave reasons why, when you asked about Trump, even if it gave reasons why you should vote for Trump, because people will believe anything without doing any research on it. And so no matter what side you're on, I just don't believe that kind of, those kind of, again, like bots should be giving people that kind of information.
Yeah, and one of the things, so I was listening to Rogan, and he had this doc on, and they were talking about elections and stuff this weekend when I was headed up to the cabin, and they were actually talking about how kind of that boomer generation is basically just, they're trusting the news. They're very trusting of the news and the newspaper. They got their CNN on or their Fox on, and they got their newspaper, and what's written in there and what's said is basically just kind of gospel to them.
Mm-hmm.
They're not really going and doing any kind of outside research and have really no idea, one way or the other. I mean, half the people don't even realize that Kamala was Montel's slam piece back in the fucking early 90s, late 80s. Like, right. Okay, a prosecutor? All right. Whatever.
Yeah, it was pretty bad, and it was pretty irresponsible of Amazon, just period, because it was almost a situation, and I've heard this, and I am repeating it, but it's the truth. It's almost a situation like they put it out there with a plan to ask for forgiveness. Instead of asking for permission, they put it out there, planning to ask for forgiveness on it.
Well, and how many people had asked Alexa that and got the answer? And just been like, okay.
All right. Yeah, it's got my vote.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is like, it takes somebody that's like subjective or has like, I guess, a little bit of intestinal fortitude to be like, that's not fucking right. Whether you're, right or left or center. I think that it's pretty telling what they're doing, Well, and now that X is out of the business of like rigging elections, I don't know.
I thank God for that. See. Well, what was disturbing too was, excuse me, was that the first answer that Alexa gave was, well, you should consider voting for Kamala Harris, or however you say her name, because she's a woman of color. And I was like, oh my goodness, here we go.
What the fuck does color matter on a vote, on a presidential vote? Like, I'm not going to vote for somebody because they're black, white, Cuban, or Asian. Like, that's not even in the cards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. That shit blows me away.
And the thing is too, is like, even if I was on the blue side and there was another candidate to pick from, I would still probably have to pick that other candidate because she has been involved in this administration for the last 3.5 years. That's really kind of tanked us. And you're literally just basically asking for the same administration to be back in place, because she's not going to do a damn thing. She's not going to hold any power, really. It's everybody behind the curtain pulling the strings, and it's going to be the same damn people that have been doing it for the last 3.5 years.
We get to listen to her rhymes, though. I mean, she dated enough rappers where she really has some good flow.
And if you listen to her speak, every time she does that silly cackle, it's either a response that she is nervous because she doesn't have the answer for, or it's because she's lying. And go back and look at all that stuff, and it's crazy.
It's like a poker tell.
Yeah, it is. It is.
So I do have to add our boy Elon to the fire report again.
Yeah.
Because he's offering to help drain the swamp, and basically we're talking about a bunch of swamp donkeys right now. Those, the swamp Democrats, the swamp Republicans. I think it's probably time for him to go.
Yeah, on both sides. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and then I do have one bad one or funny one to add to the fire report, which is Pasadena, California. They have come out publicly to say the EVs are not the patrol car of the future.
Oh, thank God
So
for that.
Let's put a fucking pin in that one. Who'd have fucking thunk?
Yeah.
You fucking break down on the side of the road, or your battery dies with a perp in the back. Like, fuck.
So
what do I do?
So dumb.
Yeah, that was a dumb fucking idea. Classic California. I thought Pasadena was better than that.
Yeah, it turns out no.
Yeah, that writing was on the wall there.
Yeah.
All right. You got anybody else?
I mean, the mics are always on, and they had JT on today, and it was pretty cool. He gave out some great information, and it was a nice little segment. He was on for about half an hour and did some news stuff with them and plugged the company, and yeah.
Nice.
Get your meat at beardedviking.com.
I'll have to go back and watch it.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Cool. All right. Well, let's put a pin in the fire report. And yeah, let's snuff this out. Let's extinguish this fire report and let's move on. What do you think?
All right.
Before we move on, let's take a little bit of a break, and we'll be back after these messages.
Hey, meatheads, meat maidens, beardos, and everyone in between. The boat here for the Bearded Viking, reminding you that our mead is the new go-to drink for all occasions. Poured out of the fridge, over ice, in a cocktail, in a slushie, or even heated up on a chilly night to warm up. Any way you pour it, you won't be disappointed. With front porch shipping available in over 40 states across the U.S., Bearded Viking Mead Co. gives you the freedom to meet up anywhere, anytime. So snag your bottles at beardedviking.com. Gather your crew, pop the cork, pour them high, raise your glass, and shock 'em always, gang.
All right.
Talk about bringing it down for a minute. All right. Well, we are back from our break. I'm just looking at our agenda here. So one of the things that I think happens, getting into men's mental health is I think there's like a massive amount of like disrespect that happens, especially with this younger generation. And I don't really understand um, kind of where it's coming from, whether it's just, people that were badly disciplined is, younger kids or whatever. But like, how do you deal with disrespect? Just blatant disrespect.
From kids or from adults,
Like
or
from like teenagers, adults, things like that.
I don't like it.
Okay. All right, and that is it for this segment.
Boom.
Moving on.
I it obviously it angers me, but I look back to the parents and that angers me even more. So I almost look at the kid as like, well, maybe, I mean, maybe the kid doesn't really know me that well, or maybe the kid doesn't know, um, manners or something like that. Um, so really that anger turns toward the parents, and that really kind of makes me just dislike the parents and look at them a lot different. I know that there's some rogue ass kids out there, and I've been in situations too where it's been, really good parents, really good people and whatever, and they just have a shit kid, and it's all they can do to even handle them, and then the kid spouts off disrespect. Now, in the past, I've stopped the kid and said, "Hey, wait a minute," and corrected them on the spot. And a lot of times they get scared and they get back down, especially when talking to adults. And that's always nice to kind of remind them that, hey, you're speaking to an adult here, and have a little fucking respect,
I mean, we use that term loosely
Yeah,
around here. Like, you know.
I mean, no 19-year-old's gonna really recognize how much of a child I am inside.
like, like they're meeting you on your level.
Yeah.
Just talking shit. Then all of a sudden you're like, I'm an adult right now.
Yeah,
I'm
now
buying groceries.
adult pants on. So yeah, that bothers me in that sense. And then you have kids that they get a little too comfortable around adults, and I've had that happen a lot, with friends' kids and with my nephews, well, my older nephew, and that kind of stuff, I can stop him and correct him right there on the spot, and I do that just so he knows that that's not okay, and we can, we can still be friends, and no harm, no foul.
I love how
But
fast that kid tunes you up.
dude,
Like you go from 0 to 60 in like 2.5.
dude, he can tune me up so fast.
It's so funny. And like if you don't think that he's not just trying to tune you up at this point, you're the one who's got the problem.
The sucker. Yeah.
He's like, he just goes to his room and he's like, got him again.
Got him again. We used to do that to our uncles too.
I got tied to banisters and shit. I got tied to like trees. I got tied to all kinds of shit.
It was a fun game.
Got held down.
Yeah. So I think that, first off, you want to, give them the old 1-2, but you remember that they're children and they can't handle that. And maybe, something is going on that, this is, outside of my nephews, but there's something going on maybe that kid's dealing with that maybe you can sit and have a chat with, or, you just carrying it and go tell their parents,
you just don't want to walk up and slap the shit out of their dad.
Yeah, because you don't want to smack the neighbor kid. It's weird. But there's been a lot of times where too that I've gotten surprise respect from kids, like at the school and stuff like that, and like car shows and stuff, where I really wasn't expecting. That was super cool. And I'm like, look at their parents, like, yeah, you're raising that kid right. You're doing a good job. You're doing a good job.
They're like, yeah, he just got out of jail.
It's got a
Tear.
tear tattoo.
He's gonna turn it around.
This spider web on the inside of his yeah. So I don't know. That's the best I can kind of come up with. It's shocking at first, and you go through those range of emotions. You shock, then anger, and then concern, and then anger again, and then kind of hitty, but then concern again. Just I don't know. It puts me through a range of
a lot of fucking emotions there,
especially with kids, because the younger they are, the harder it is to kind of deal with it. The older they are, you give them a slap and then you start slap fighting and have a good time. It's like, don't talk to me like that again. Like, get out of here.
Yeah, I just usually say something smart ass back to them because I don't think generally they're expecting that.
Mm-hmm.
And like I don't really. I had it, happen like this last weekend or whatever, and then I've had it happen before. Just random teenagers and shit like that, or people, and I think it's like it pisses me off, but I like to just kind of fight fire with fire. I think.
Mm-hmm.
And say something just off the wall ridiculous. And they're just like, what? What? No. And just kind of really take the fucking steam out of whatever the fuck they were getting at. That I find funny. I enjoy that. Especially like if it's an adult and they're just being disrespectful. It's like that video that was on there. Oh God, what was he doing? He was like, he's like, you know what? He comes up to the window, the driver's side. He's like, I'm gonna beat you. I'm gonna beat you off. The dude's like, dude, you want to beat me off? Like just shit like that.
That's hilarious.
Fuck. Good one. Just walk away.
I was gonna say we gotta save that one for the next strip club fight, man. That was so good.
Oh, dude.
At diffusing a situation.
You want to beat me off? Yeah, I love that. And the dude even walked away all pissed off. You got me. That was good. That's like recognizing greatness right there.
Yeah, that's skill against skill there.
Yeah, especially going off of road rage when you can, diffuse road rage with a beat off joke. That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it definitely can be irritating. And especially I could see, if it was, you're doing something for somebody, or you're in one of those service jobs, where you're doing like, you're working in somebody's house, or you're a server or something at a restaurant, and people are just being disrespectful. Like that's got to take a toll, right? On just your mental health and just your irritability in general. Like I couldn't imagine, being a server and just having people just be shitty to you, right? For no fucking reason. Especially like if you're doing a decent job.
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely some servers out there that don't deserve like tips.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, like I know you guys live off tips, but if you fucking suck at your job, get another job. Like, I'm not gonna like pity tip you. Like, do your job, like the minimum, and I will give you, a tip. But if you just are trash, like, get the fuck out of here.
That's still, I'm saying the part of your job is earning your tip, right? Yeah. I mean, if you're going to claim that you live on it, then claim to be good at your job and earn that part of your job.
Yeah, and if you're not going to be doing that part of your job, then that's disrespectful to me, right?
And that's part of the income that you won't be getting from me.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
So
Sorry, not sorry.
yeah, we flipped the script on that one, but it would suck being that person, especially if you're out there doing a good job and having to deal with shitty people, right?
But there's that video that went around. I think a gal, like, she was like a drive-through smoothie shop or something like that, and she threw the money at the gal in the window, and then the gal
She like
threw
threw the
the
fucking
smoothie right in her face, dude. Hey,
That's what you
tip for
get.
tat, buddy. Yeah,
Just
don't
fire
disrespect.
with fire.
Don't disrespect me by throwing your money through the window. Shit, you're
Good
gonna
luck
get a
cleaning your car,
get a
bitch. I
cold
quit.
one right to the face.
In the face.
You know, and you know that person who threw, they just took off the headset and add their apron. And
All
just
right. It's all right.
Like,
I know. I'm out of
I
here.
know. It's on video. I know.
Like, I'm not fighting it. I'm out of here.
I'll find a new job tomorrow.
Yeah, don't call me. I ain't paying for that fucking bitch. It's
I
cleaning bill.
and I ain't filling in for Ricky's calling in sick ass either.
Goddamn, Ricky. That's always how it is too. Something always goes fucked up on like not your shift.
Right.
And you know, God, that store got held up again. It's always on his shift.
It's always on his shift.
It was fucking Ricky holding up the store.
Right. No, we shouldn't have hired that dude.
Fucking Ricky. Yeah, so we'll get off this one. So our next segment is kind of generally just kind of what you see when you look around and how the current state of the world is kind of impacting your mental health. I know that we have a lot of people that are working really hard out there just to make a living, pay for groceries, pay for gas. And then they look at the news, you know, there's school shootings happening. There's, you know, Denver's falling apart. You know, the tech world is all fucking trying to get involved with elections and shit again, you know, i.e. Alexa. You know, what 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 does just the working man do to try and stay sane? You know what I mean, in the state of the world.
That's a tough question, but you know, I've seen better attitudes as of late, and I think that that's a good thing. As far as I go,
Better attitudes how?
just overall, I guess. Almost, it's kind of sad though, because it's almost a complacency. The problem is with that is you get complacent and then you stop moving forward. And if we stop moving forward as a whole, then we're going to be in real fucking trouble, right? Even if Trump does get into the office, if we're complacent and we put our heads down and then just start following the crowd and not caring or not speaking up about what's going on and putting our 2 cents in and actually trying to make a difference somewhere, then I think that's a dangerous thing. However, it has made for a little bit calmer community, so to speak. I remember a few weeks ago, my favorite 7-Eleven guy, you know, he's an African fellow, great dude, runs the store really well, speaks like 4 languages.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's like actually like legit from Africa.
Yeah, he's from Africa, yeah. And he like learned Spanish, he knows some Japanese, like in they have like 4
He knows like the languages of the community.
Yes, exactly. That's
like,
exactly what I was.
He's a pillar at the 7-Eleven, dude.
He is, dude. He's a rock over there. But it's guys like him, like, you know, a few months back, you know, you go in, you see him, he's frustrated. He's, you know, he's short with people and customers and, you know, his workers and stuff. And I don't know, like, if he just had a shit worker that was was pissing him off all the time or whatever. But now, you know, over the last few weeks, go in there he's chipper as hell. You know, he's calling me boss again. He calls everybody boss, but he's calling people boss again. He's having a good time. He's upselling, you know, he's giving out free donuts and stuff like this. And I like to see that. I like to see people happy. I like to see people out happy in their jobs. I love to see people out walking and saying good morning instead of just walking by, you know, with a stone face. As far as me though, you know, trying to keep doing those things, trying to get out, walk, talk to the people in the community. I even thought about maybe getting on the PTA. I don't know if that's a good idea or not. I
don't think they'd let you on.
Well,
especially wearing that fucking shirt.
It worked last week. I mean, it worked for video, but we're gonna have good video this week.
I know. I was hoping for fucking good video last week. I'll have to put on one.
So it's really funny. My hairdresser friend there, I've talked about her before. But she's part of the group that just kind of hangs out and by the flagpole and waits for our kids. And we shoot the shit a lot. Well, her husband, he's, you know, they're kind of alt folks, and she's your age, and he's just a couple years older than her, so he's almost 40 or so. He's the head of the PTA now. So they're like, you should join the PTA, and I'm like, I don't think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
It's just like, you don't have to do anything. I was like, I know I don't have to, but when I get in there and I start going to the damn meetings, I'm gonna say something. You know what I mean? I'm gonna rustle some feathers in there.
Like, don't you have to pay to be on the PTA now too?
I think it's like a yearly fee.
Like you pay like $5 for a year membership to the PTA.
Show my PTA card like it's my AARP card.
Yeah, you should.
See if I get discounts.
Do I get a PTA discount?
For real, dude. For real. Yeah, so I guess, you know, doing those kind of things, I guess would help my mental state a little bit. The problem is, you know, for a long time, I didn't watch the news at all because the local news was it was terrible.
Just regurgitation of the same fucking terrible story.
Right. And it's just doom and gloom. And all I really watched it for was the weather. And then I'd shut it off. And I did that on purpose because I didn't want to start my day, especially this is when I worked outside of the home. I didn't want to start my day in a negative state of mind about how much stupid shit is going on, not only in our state, in our city, but in the world. It's just terrible way to start your day and walk out the door. And so I stopped watching it, and now I started watching it a little bit, especially now around the election season and stuff like that, and what's been going on. And I watched, CNN and Fox, to get the difference on what the hell Biden was doing now, because it was every day it seemed like there for the last 6 months it was something idiotic that they were trying to cover up. So I was having a real good time laughing at that.
A real roll on the beach.
Yeah. And then we started listening to the mics and stuff like that. So I started kind of getting a little bit deeper into that, and then just wanted to educate myself basically. So on that sense, I try not to internalize it too much and let it affect my emotions. Just really use it as education, now, because there's like the Gaza thing. There's nothing I can personally do about that. The fires in Idaho, I'm not going to go fight fires, man. I got shit to do here.
You got a full plate. Yeah, sorry about your fires. I don't have to.
I'm full up.
Yeah. So I guess that's an important thing to say is like, don't internalize the shit that's going on around you.
Mm-hmm.
There is some depressing stuff for sure. And there's some very frustrating things like not being able to trust the fucking FBI.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's already been confirmed by the FBI that today's Georgia shooter had been visited by the FBI, and they had talked to him.
13, like a year ago.
In 23.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's like, so how much faith do we really have in them? They couldn't conduct an investigation, the whole Russiagate thing. They couldn't conduct an investigation. They botched all that, and then now it's been confirmed that they don't want to release the stuff from January 6th. The videos, there's like 260 something videos. Maybe I'm getting the numbers backwards. Maybe it was 600. I think it's like 260 though, of videos that were confiscated from people that were inside January 16th. And the thought is that they don't want to release it because they have FBI people that are actually in the mix, that are actually vandalizing shit in the Capitol and trying to spark the stuff. So it's like you see stuff like that, and then you see it being like independently verified from, either a news source or by either one of the news sources. And you're just like, fuck, dude. Like, you can't even trust these guys. So why the fuck do we even have them? I'm not saying that all of them are bad.
Right.
I'm like, just kind of like we talked about before. I'm sure there's some real badass, like hard dicks on the ground that are doing a good job or trying to do a good job. And then the bureaucrats at the fucking top are just ruining everything. It's like one of those things where it's like, dude, maybe sometimes you just need to let the field agent run the whole fucking thing, because the rest of you guys fucking suck. But yeah, you see stuff like that, and it can be very depressing very, very fast. And like you said, I didn't watch that shit because I didn't want to fuck up my day before my day even started. And it's definitely, going and listening to Mike in the morning is not depressing.
No.
Finding it like a show to listen to in the morning, if you're on the commute, or you're on the road, or you're commuting to your job, instead of watching the fucking local news or watching Fox or CNN or something like that, I think could be a pretty important part of your day, right? If you're already listening to stuff like that, and then you actually find a show that's upbeat and, not all doom and gloom, or even trying to be, alarmists, because there's a lot of alarmists out there, especially
Yeah.
on like Rumble and everything else that have their shows on Rumble and YouTube and Spotify and everything. And I think being an alarmist, just people are alarmists to get views and get clicks and things like that. And it just riles people up. And complacency kills, but riling people up for dumb shit, that kills too.
Yes, it does. Exactly. And that, that fires people up in bad ways, and that fires people up to, to get guns and shoot up schools. That's not what we want to do. And I like listening to Mike, and sometimes he gets upset, and he'll at what's going on and stupid people. But like I listen to him and I love him, and nothing against Bongino. And he's got a lot of good points. He's got a lot of good history. He's got a lot of good experience, like firsthand experience.
Mhm.
Bongino's hard to listen to because, but Bongino's, he's a, I wouldn't say alarmist, but it teeters on that fence, and
Yeah, sometimes I think,
almost
depending on the topic.
scaremonger.
Yeah, and I think it's just, and I think that's just him. It seems like
I think it is.
I never met the guy, but he in general seems like a pretty positive dude. But yeah, sometimes it gets a little bit intense.
It's very intense. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's just, they're passionate people, right? And they're getting pissed off at stupid shit. And I get that, having the passion and being pissed off about stupid shit and wanting to change it. But yeah, I agree. Sometimes, it can go a little bit too far one way or the other. And I'm sure that you could probably say that with us too.
Yeah.
Just here talking shit. But I do think that you have a good point of finding a show or something that can actually give you some upbeat stuff before, instead of just giving straight doom and gloom, especially when it comes to news. I find it hard to listen to the fucking news at all anymore. But it's kind of irresponsible at this point to not know what the hell's going on in the
Right.
world. So it's like a double-edged sword. It's like, okay, so this is going on, but I'm gonna try not to internalize this because I don't want to pistol whip somebody at the grocery store. I don't know.
And I think that's important for mental health, and it's a good way to check your mental health in the morning. Make sure that you're not internalizing this kind of stuff, and because once you internalize it, then obviously you're going to project it onto somebody else, and then here comes your anger out in ways that they
It's
should.
our next morning show, mental health in the morning.
Yeah. And because you're gonna be, that anger is gonna be misplaced somewhere, on a passerby, on your wife, on your children, on a coworker, which really is unnecessary. Especially if you are starting your day off in a positive way and with positive things.
Right. Well, and I think that everybody kind of has their triggers, right? And especially the veteran triggers and stuff like that. Seeing shit go sideways gets everybody pissed off, and you're like, why the fuck did I even go to Iraq or go to Afghanistan or do what the fuck I did? And I think there's a lot of that going around right now,
Mm-hmm.
especially with kind of what's going on in the world, because everything that we did and fought for is just to make rich dudes richer, and all the good that actually came out of it is pretty much gone now, and that's depressing as fuck. I think for a
Or
lot.
it's swept under the rug. Yeah, that's got to be super frustrating.
Yeah, and it's hard not to internalize stuff like that because you were there. You did all the shit that you did to try and make things better for either them or for us or something else. So I think the state of the world there is it can have an effect
Mm-hmm.
on people's mental health, and especially veterans and everything else, because it's like, what the shit, what is all this? We're gonna have to go back and do this again, or or my sons and daughters gonna have to go back and do all this shit all over again? It's just that perpetual motion thing.
Well, in the talks of the beginnings of World War III don't help.
Yeah, or a civil war.
Or a civil war.
Yeah, that doesn't
then
help either.
they're thinking how they need to arm up, or are they going to get drafted, or are their sons and daughters going to get drafted, and what the hell does that look like? What does that even look like?
Mm-hmm.
It's really hard to picture, and those kind of things may or may not be in our reality in the near future. Hopefully not, obviously. But those kind of things I can see how would put you in a state of anxiety, put you in a state of what do I do next? How do I arm up? How do I keep my family safe? How do I do this? How do I ensure my job is safe? Stuff like that. And I can see how that could definitely weigh on somebody's mental health.
Well, and people that are trying to trigger like a civil war, talking a whole bunch about civil war and how it could happen and yada yada yada. It's like, how does that civil war break up?
Mm-hmm.
How would that break up the states? How would that, who would fight against who? Like, really?
Yeah,
Like,
there's not
do
a
you think
north.
do you think I'm gonna? Yeah, it's not north and south. It's not east and west. It's like, I don't know. I don't even know what it would be.
Himself, yeah,
Yeah,
it would be wild.
rednecks versus suits. Like, what? What is it? Shirts and skins? Like, what are we doing? How does that even work out? Like, hey man, are you taking a bath or are you skin? Like, what do we do? What are we doing?
Yeah, I would pick teams,
Like,
man.
all up, dude. Let's knuckle up. Let's go. How the fuck do you? How the fuck do they pick teams? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that'd be super crazy.
That's a really hard one. Like, I don't know whether I'm shirts or skins. You know what I mean?
Reds against the Blues. I don't know, man. Super weird.
I don't understand how that would work out. I really don't. And obviously, there's a divide in the country that is, Democrat versus Republican thing. But just kind of like we were talking about last week, if you go to the fucking bar, you can go and have a beer just fine and hang out with people that don't share your same beliefs.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm not gonna go shoot them.
Well, I don't.
You know what I mean? Like, in every state, are you gonna have a civil war in each state and
Well,
just go clipping each other? Like,
it's
that
so
doesn't work out.
it doesn't even make sense because one of your best buddies at work, you might not know about this because you guys never talk politics, but he could be your best work buddy or your best employee or something like that, and he can be on the other side. What are you gonna do? You're gonna clip that guy down, while
Chitty
he's cleaning the
bang
bathroom?
bang, man. I don't know.
You know what I mean? It just makes no sense. And I've heard this a lot, and we've even said it a lot, to where what happened to the days when you could just have a civilized conversation and agree to disagree? Because when it comes down to it, and people just start talking, you realize that you guys share a lot of the same beliefs, but it's just the fear mongering from your side or whatever has told you that this person is going to be terrible for you, and list out all the character flaws and shitty things about this person or that person or whatever. And but when you actually start talking and digging through the bullshit, you guys all want the same thing. You want a safe place for your family. You want to be able to work when and where you want to work. You want a decent wage. You want a decent economy. You want to be able to afford your house. You want to be able to afford groceries. We all want this same thing. And when it comes down to it, if people would just talk more, I think they would find that they have a lot more in common than they think. And
it's not all bad. It's
right.
not all bad.
It's not all bad. And I think simple conversations like that can come, a lot of good things can come out of simple conversations like that. And just respecting each other's opinion. Even if you don't like it, even if you're differ from it, there's a little bit of respect that has to go into that as well.
Yeah, no, there definitely is. And then there's like people that say and do like completely retarded shit. And you're like, come again? What?
That guy's been a waste of space for a long time.
Yeah, like the best part of him ran down his mom's ass. But like, there's just people like that, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I don't know. It's tough, and I think it can be super fucking depressing. But it's important not to let yourself fall into it, and figure out something that works for you as far as a show in the morning. Listen to something that you think is funny. Listen to fucking comedy shit. Listen to an alternative, morning show like Dr. Mike's or listen to VOC. We're pretty funny. We're pretty funny most of the time. We don't really, leave you down too much. We're not a morning show. We could be,
You can listen to us multiple times, to try to catch stuff that you missed where you went to the pisser while we were still talking.
Right. Yeah. If you don't plan your piss breaks with ours, then you're going to miss something. That's just how it works.
So, another thing though, too, is people, sometimes they stop living their lives over the fear of this kind of stuff.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think it's a huge point to bring up is just don't stop living your life. Don't stop doing the things that make you happy. Yeah, I know the things that make you happy are a little bit more expensive now, but maybe just do them in moderation. Make sure you're not, spending out of budget.
Yeah, buy less Amazon.
Yeah, only buy
unless that's what you like to do, then buy more Amazon. Like I don't fucking know.
Buy 2 cases of Bearded Viking instead of 4.
Yeah, with your Biden bucks. Your Biden bucks or your Trump check. Just buy an extra case of booze.
Bearded Viking mead.
Yeah, we got new flavors.
You
We got
know,
nice shirts.
and I think that that's really important because, people get so wrapped up and get so uh, enveloped by their anxiety, and then they're afraid to go outside, and they're afraid to be with friends, and you get stuck in your head over these things that are not at our front doors yet. And I think it's really important to just keep living your life, keep taking care of your family, keep
Like the less that we pay attention to the shit that's on, like, Fox and CNN,
mhm.
I'm convinced the better the world will be.
I think so too.
Like they scared so many people with COVID,
Oh my,
and the amount of people that still don't realize how just kind of goaded into all that shit that they really were is astonishing. The people that still are like, oh, okay. And I think a lot of people are waking up to it now. But yeah, I just say don't let the state of the world really fuck with you. Do something fun. Do something, like you said, that you like doing, and just be done with it.
yeah, go on a staycation, have some fun, throw the ball around with the kid.
Eat some
It's
fucking steak.
get some sun.
Yeah. And you don't have to use these lights.
As soon as this smoke blows over.
Just kidding. I'm pretty sure I actually have to use these lights because I am so dark right now. I look pale now because of these lights. But
Yeah, you were very ominous looking before we
yeah,
got the lights all fixed
better
up.
watch out. It's not high definition camera, bro.
Black shirt, black beard.
It's bad for the pore. You can't see the pores.
Scary
This
guy.
is fucking bush league. I need a makeup lady. Just kidding. That'll never happen. But I think this kind of ends our mental health for the day. What do you think?
Moving on. Yeah, it does.
Okay.
You want to get another word from our sponsor?
Yeah, we can get another word.
All right, let's do it.
Hey, meatheads, meat maidens, beardos, and everyone in between. The boat here for the Bearded Viking, reminding you that our mead is the new go-to drink for all occasions. Poured out of the fridge, over ice, in a cocktail, in a slushie, or even heated up on a chilly night to warm up. Any way you pour it, you won't be disappointed. With front port shipping available in over 40 states across the U.S., Bearded Viking Mead Co. gives you the freedom to meet up anywhere, anytime. So snag your bottles at beardedviking.com. Gather your crew, pop the cork, pour 'em high, raise your glass, and shock 'em always, gang.
For now. Anyway, so welcome back to Vikings, Outlaws, and Cowboys. We're going to get into our conspiracy corner, and we have a couple of different topics today that we don't really talk about much in the conspiracy corner. And I'm going to continue raw dogging this podcast with just water, no nicotine, no alcohol. Just to
Man,
prove that it can be done.
I'm proud of you.
Now we're out here just to prove shit, people. Okay. I wasn't even sipping during the break.
Now we got a vendetta.
Yeah, now it's on. So I wanted to talk about kind of, our education system and big pharmaceuticals, big pharma, because I think they're very closely tied together with their creation and who started it.
Okay.
So big pharma was one of the Rothschild things where, there was a lot of stuff that could be done with oil, a lot of things that could be done with chemicals, and there was a lot of easy ways to market it. And then start phasing out this older style of medicine that worked, but it was easy to discredit it because it was, natural, or it was witchy, or whatever the reason may be, even though it was all natural.
Mm-hmm.
But there was these magic pills and stuff that could do it with, chemicals in it. And, there was medicinal whiskey and stuff like, they just kind of really went overboard with it. And now look at where big pharma is now.
Mm-hmm.
There's a pill for everything, or there's 4 pills for everything. just depending on which brand you pick, you know?
Yeah. There's 4 different brands.
Yeah. So, and don't get me wrong, some of it's very alluring. Some of it sounds awesome, but what, is it like you're going to grow a third fucking leg or your stomach's going to fall out of your butt is a side effect or, what's going to happen? Just anal leakage?
Yeah, I'm very scared of that stuff because a lot of times it seems like the side effects are worse than what you're taking it for,
Right. Well, yeah. And just recently, you got to experience side effects from one of those, so quote unquote medications that are supposed
Mhm.
to make you better. So, you're still dealing with those side effects and everything from, pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
So it's like, holy shit, what's it going to be next?
Well, what's it going to take to make them stop? I guess with big pharma, the money involved, it's just a money thing and a money thing and a money thing and a money thing. And how much money is enough to where you stop putting our citizens at risk and using them as guinea pigs for your next money maker?
Well, and it's controlling the population too, right? And having a sicker population is an easier population to control. So
Yeah.
using, you know, using diabetes as an example, um, people need insulin. They run up the price of insulin, or they make you they put so much shit in their food in our food that it starts to give people just skyrocketing um, the amount of people that have insulin resistance or diabetes or anything like that. We've talked about, you go back and look at the pictures of the beach and everything in the 70s, and everybody's like all just fit and cut, and like only the people that are working out or that are going to the gym, those guys are like the bodybuilders, right? But everybody else is fit as shit. There's
Yeah.
like there's the odd duck every once in a while, but like you go to the beach now and it's like everybody's not fit.
You're like, damn.
Yeah. So it's like you've created a dependency on this pharmaceutical, this insulin, and it's like if the lights go out tomorrow, how many people are going to die because they can't get their insulin?
Yeah. Well, like you said, it's that dependency. So people don't know and they haven't looked into how to live alternatively, and how to correct this. They've just relied on, big pharma to say, okay, this is what you have and this is what you have to use to cure it, or to not even cure it because it's a string along, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, which, instead of instead of just changing their diet and not eating the foods that spike sugars, that increase that insulin dependency, that just lay down and fucking die because they don't have their insulin, rather than changing habits, because they've relied on, or they've took what big pharma has told them as doctrine. You know what I mean? And they've bet their life on it, and they're unwavering, and that's sad and scary.
Well, and one of the sad things is there's a lot of providers out there, medical providers out there, that are not willing to go into any kind of research to try and figure it out also, so
Yeah.
they can better prescribe treatments. They're like, here's the pills. And as far as like this Ozempic and like all those ones, like I'm waiting for the shoe to drop.
Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting to see like what ends up happening to these people. And I don't want anything to happen. And I really hope that it is like face value. You either get the shits or get the pukes, and then everything else works out. Right. But
Right.
at the same time, it's terrifying to me because, yeah, there's a bunch of people that got in shape. that's pretty awesome.
Mhm.
Like, cool, because they took the magic pill instead of, doing it the hard way. Like, everybody likes the easy way,
Mhm.
the path of least resistance. But what's going to happen, 5 years, 10 years down the road? You know, it's kind of scary.
It is, and it's scary to think that. Well, it's the truth though that you've got. I don't even know an insurance provider that will pay for alternative treatment. Um, I've looked into for my sickness. I've looked into tons of alternative treatments, and none of them are covered by any insurance. So it's all out of pocket stuff, and that just goes to show you that the insurance providers are in on it as well, because they're not going to waste their time and money on this when they can be in cahoots with the pharmaceutical companies and get the kickbacks from it, or the tax write-offs or whatever the fuck it is.
Well, and it's pretty bad that at this point, and where we are, that you have to have health insurance, that you can't just go and pay for a treatment out of your pocket because it's affordable, and it's reasonable. If I could see having to get health insurance or something if you have like this big pre-existing condition that's that $50 is a lot a month, or something like that, or the treatment is constant, and you can't work or something like that, then that makes sense, health insurance. But I don't think somebody like your age or my age should have to worry about getting health insurance. I think that we should be able to pay pretty simply out of pocket for anything that we might need. you know
Yeah, I agree.
like a broken arm shouldn't be $15,000. A broken arm should be $100, couple $100.
Yeah.
you know and if it was that way and it went straight to the doctor, then we've already cut out the middleman.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I mean? Then a portion of it isn't going to the insurance, and a portion of it isn't going to the provider or the hospital that the provider's working with, and then finally trickles down to the doctor or whatever. It seems like a really, really broken system to me. And it seems like it was put in place, by the Rothschilds to create, a dependency and to use these fossil fuels and oils and things like that, petroleum products.
Yeah, because you look you look at any hospital, and there's a lot of petroleum products in hospitals.
Yeah, even the sheets today are like plastic sheets. They're made out of petroleum. They're polyester. They're not cotton linens. They're not anything like that. And I've actually seen some stuff that says that uh, cotton linens are actually good for you because they actually help with, kind of like the electromagnetics in your body, and they help you heal. But
Really?
the flip side is that, you know, the others don't. So, the chances of you coming back are higher.
Or higher? Yeah.
And it's just like anything, it's like a car dealership. They're trying to create repeat customers, and it's getting pretty ugly out there.
Yeah, especially with people that, are so far into their sickness or illness or disease that there's really no other way out. And I feel like, and some of that stuff, you can't predict, and obviously we have a ton of sympathy for those people, but they're in a situation now where they have to be reliant, like, say, for instance, like cancer patients, stuff like this. um I fully believe there has to be some sort of cure out there.
Well, they found so many things that cure it.
Medicinally.
Yeah, yeah. Well, even like in Korea, there was a study that they did where they were using ultrasound therapy, and it was breaking up tumors.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's all kinds of shit out there that was breaking up tumors, and they even ivermectin, you know, was stopping tumors from reproducing, and basically taking the sugars and stuff like that away from them and treating them like a parasite.
Well, even the oxygen and UV light treatments that I was doing, they said that could break up cancer cells.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a whole bunch of alternative shit out there for sure. And it just keeps getting swept under the rug over and over and over again. You know, and when a 2 cent pill can cure it, they don't fucking want it
Yeah,
because, especially, I don't know. I guess, cancer is one of those things. It's a very touchy topic, and everybody's kind of had their own experience with it and everything. But, you know, that's kind of one of those things where if it comes up, it's like, what do you do? Do you try and do it their way, or do you try and do it your way? And, the chances of it not working, I guess, is probably about the same.
it seems like it.
So, what do you really do?
Well,
And if you're
that's
afraid of dying, you know,
and they use that against you, and that's why I said, you get put in this spot to where you feel there's no other way to do it but their way, and then okay, you're in remission for like 6 months, but you're in $200,000 worth of debt now. You had to put your house up, you had to put all your vehicles up, you've already drained, your 401ks or whatever savings that you had, and then it comes back.
yeah. Then you're
Then
like,
where you at?
then you're Nicolas Cage in that movie, Leaving Las Vegas.
Yeah,
Just
exactly, dude.
drinking.
Just drink. Maybe the booze will kill it.
Maybe. You never know. Just stop all treatments and drink. But the other topic that goes along with this too is the education system. So the way that the education system and um, basically our national institutes and everything like that were created, it seems like, and it's conspiracy, right? But we bat pretty good. We got a pretty good batting average on conspiracies.
We got a real good. We're batting 1,000 on
It
conspiracy right now.
also can be traced back to the same family with the education system and the way that it was set up, and kind of the rudimentary national education system that we have now. I forget what it's called. It's escaping me right now. But Trump was saying that if he gets elected, he's going to get rid of the National Education Board or whatever it's called, and give the power back to the states, which makes a lot of sense to me. But if you look at it and you kind of watch your kids before they go to school, and then they get to the age where they're going to school, you definitely do notice a difference in them. And even just, I pulled them out of the school that they were in and put them in a different school where the teachers are excited to be there and they want to be there, and they're working for their paycheck. They don't have, they could get fired in any second for doing something stupid or, not performing.
Yeah, they don't have like a 75-year-old just,
Yeah,
crutching along.
they're actually holding themselves to a higher standard.
Mm-hmm.
And the difference in how happy these kids are to learn new things is tenfold different than the school, just the regular public school that they were at before.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like they treat the kids and everything like cattle in some of these schools. And that's kind of the way that they designed it, was to keep people docile, teach them what you want them to know. And the internet's really fucking that up for them right now, because I think a lot of people are learning shit off the internet. And now the hard part is deciphering what's real and what isn't on the internet.
I get
And
questions from the kids every day.
yeah,
See something on the internet, then they'll learn something different in class, and they'll come and say, "Hey, which one's right? I don't know. Which way to go here."
yeah. What am I writing this book report on? Am
Yeah.
I for, against, or is this bullshit?
Yeah.
And it really opened my eyes to a lack of knowledge that I even had, because this, new school they're going to, they're actually talking to him about American Indians, about, you know, Indian history
Wow.
and the different tribes and different, what they did and things that they did and everything. And I'm like, I had no fucking idea about any of this. And so, I'm a pretty big history guy, but for some reason I glossed over that whole fucking thing.
Well, they didn't teach us that. They taught us the only things I remember from at least grade school was Thanksgiving. That's you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, you're not far off.
We learned a little bit about the tribes that were in Utah,
I
but
didn't
not a ton. We
learn a
didn't
whole
go
bunch
into their
about them.
history. We went into their a few of their holidays, and then like their a few of their daily routines. But that was like, I mean, that was in the 80s, and they were still talking about them grinding corn in in the stone bowls or whatever, So
Yeah, the Mokahete.
yeah, 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 and that was, I don't know, I think that it's good to teach them their history, especially from where they were to where they are now.
Yeah, and I
Stuff like
think,
that.
as far as like the American Indian goes, like it was the history that they teach in school is very fucking like Navajo taco. And like that's pretty much it. Like it's very surface level, and I think they keep it very surface level because they don't want people to know and teach people about just the absolute fucking atrocities
Oh yeah.
that were committed against them.
Well, how can you really
Because
teach
then
that to a 7-year-old? Yeah, they're not going to understand that.
pretty fucking easy to
Well,
teach,
yeah, but
or teach it to the 10 and 12-year-olds, teach it to the middle schoolers. But the point that I'm getting at is if they teach it to them, then that already starts to create, maybe I don't trust the government too much. Maybe it plants the seed right there. If they actually teach what happened and what they did when it came to taking your guns and taking this, taking that, the seed is already planted there. If those lessons are taught,
the
uh,
government's a bunch of fucking assholes.
yeah, it already plants the seed, and the kids, when they grow up and shit's going on, they're gonna be like, they're
Fuck
trying to,
power.
they're trying to Trail of Tears our ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, I like serious.
it's sorry to laugh, but yeah, but you're right. You're totally right. And
So
uh,
that seed's there. It's gonna be a little bit harder to control that populace, and to create free thinkers is very, very fucking scary for a government.
well, and that's kind of what I like about the charter school is the kids are free to ask questions, and they're free to get answers that they're seeking rather than a washover. And it's
They
like,
can
okay, well,
explore.
let's
Yeah.
get back to the subject at hand. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, the kid's like reading shit that I never thought. Like he's reading like the Odyssey, and
Yeah, that
so
was wild. I
I'm
was like,
like,
man,
whoa, guy, calm the fuck down.
you're like, I looked at that book when I was in college, and I was like, nah,
Yeah,
not for me, man.
that one's a rough one, dude.
Not for
But
me.
yeah, but like that, but that's the thing too, is they're reading about Greek history,
Mhm.
and that will plant a seed too. It's the Greeks were pretty fucking smart,
Mhm.
and the Romans were pretty fucking smart, and that's Greek history, and that that kind of leads into hey, this is how they kind of did this, and the story of his last 7 years after being gone for 10 or whatever. It's pretty crazy.
It's pretty
But
epic. Yeah.
but yeah, I think that if the education system was designed more around like what the charter schools are doing, the example of the charter schools are
Mhm.
doing, then our education system would be a whole lot better. And I can fully admit I wasn't like a huge believer. I thought they were just like, whatever. I'm like, you guys in your fancy fucking school, whatever. Public school
Right.
worked for me. I turned out all right. you know, but
Team. Yeah.
like I do see a difference. We're 3 weeks in and I'm already seeing like a complete difference.
That's pretty.
So
That's pretty crazy. That's pretty
yeah.
substantial.
So it's like, what the fuck is going to be happening by the time we get to Christmas break? Like, holy shit.
Well, yeah, you're right. I think that most educators really want to do those kind of things. They really want to create free thinkers, really want to like core teach, but they can't. They're handcuffed.
Yeah.
They're handcuffed by what the district, says that they have to teach these kids in this amount of time. So that's how they have to set up their lesson plans, and they can't really waver from that, because the thing is if you have X amount of students, and I don't know exactly how this works, but I kind of have a decent soft understanding of it. But if you don't get these kids, so as a teacher, you don't get your group of kids to this point by then you kind of get a strike against you. You do that for a couple consecutive years, you're gone, and you can forget about your tenure. Now, and then that goes to a bigger size. So if as far as the district goes, if the district doesn't get it, then they start picking out the schools that aren't performing, and then guess what? They're gone. And that's exactly what happened in our neighborhood, or our surrounding neighborhood, because they dumped out schools because of lack of performance and attendance. And now we've got Meadowlark, Rose Park, Newman. Dude, I have to go to pick up now a half an hour early to get a parking spot, because they've flooded our schools with these kids from these other schools.
Well, and how many of the kids are actually like illegals
There's
that are
at least
fresh?
there are at least two in each of my daughter's classes that don't speak English at all.
Yeah, see, and that's another border issue. And
Yeah.
then, but get this, okay? $224 billion in budgetary resources. That's how much funding is available for the Department of Education.
Is that countrywide?
That's the federal Department of Education.
Mm-hmm.
You shut down that agency and you give that money back. That means that your state taxes for education are no longer going to the Department of Education. Your federal taxes, that $224 billion is getting divvied up and sent back to the states.
Yeah. Well, in that case, hell, you could start 2 or 3 charter schools in each district.
Well, just think about how much more money each state would have. So what's that like 5 billion or something like that back to each or something? No, it's more 50 billion, something like that. I gotta do math.
You could build out the schools, you could hire more teachers, so you have smaller class sizes, and really get the education that the kids need.
That's a fucking lot of money. But
Well, and I sympathize with the teachers at public school too. And yes, they're not. The kids aren't getting the education that they need at the public schools.
Yeah, they're not getting the attention.
Yeah, they're not getting the attention they need, and some kids are getting left behind. But I understand and I sympathize with the teachers too, because, like I said, they're handcuffed, and if they're spending, say, 2 to 3 hours a day just trying to teach basics to a child that can barely even understand the language, then you've got all these other kids that aren't getting what they need, and they're not progressing because the teacher's having to spend so much time with this certain group of individuals. And don't get me wrong, I mean, it's not the kid's fault, and I'm not saying it's the kid's fault. It's
no, but
they're in a situation,
their parents put them in this situation.
Yes, it's beyond them.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, like, I'm not against the kids or people coming over here from different countries, but I think it has to be done legally, and there has to be a want, or that spark, in them to want to learn the American way instead of, there's always you come from a different country, you're always going to have your own culture and things like that, and I appreciate that, but the willingness and want to adapt to, the American culture too, and play, play our games.
Yeah.
That's a big deal to me too. It's like, you have to want the whole thing, not just to come over here and then, do exactly what you were doing in your country. Like, why would you want that? That's
Yeah.
like, people coming over here and then walking down the streets, holding a Hamas flag and shit like that. It's like, really? Like, that's what you
Well,
want? Like, you wanna wear burqas? Like, that's what you want? Like that? Why?
it's not the kid's fault, but I again, I do have sympathy for the teachers, because they're spending time with stuff that they shouldn't have to spend time on, and which slows everybody up, and that slows that whole system down. So if you, like you said, if all that money was allocated back to the states rather than just sitting in the federal government for them to divvy out as they see fit,
Yeah, it's $4 billion, almost $5 billion back to each state.
yeah, we could use that money in very, 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 very different ways to make our education a lot better.
Yeah. Well, and this is a low year. It got up to like $625 billion in 22.
What did they do with it?
That's what I'm saying.
I want to know.
That's when, like, they did the studies for, like, how many times can you make an Asian elephant come? And, like, seriously, like, if you go into these budgets, like, you find all kinds of retarded studies like this.
Are you serious?
Yes, dude. I like, for one of the next podcasts, I'll have to pull up like some of the dumb shit that's in these bills. And, like, you think I'm being like overzealous by like saying that, but it's a legit thing. They have these stupid ass studies that have nothing to do with America and nothing to do with really anybody's well-being. And we're funding it. We're just sending money. We'll just fund it.
And that's coming out of our education system.
We'll just print some more money. It's coming out of several of the budgets, not just the education budget.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah, I mean, I guess how much wood could a woodchuck chuck? Let's do a study. Especially if your woodchuck's named Chuck. So
and the sad thing is that our children and our education system as a whole becomes the victim.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking bad. So
I'm happy though that the STEM school over here they're actually doing really well. I honestly didn't think it'd last in this area because it just didn't seem like the kind of area where the kids would be interested in it, right? There's a lot of minorities over here. There's some good kids, there's some bad kids, stuff like that. I didn't think the kids would be interested in it, but they're doing great, and they're having another successful year this year. And what I like about that is, it's science school basically, and the people out there know what STEM schools are, and they have really low classroom sizes, which I like personally.
Yeah. Well, and it actually, being accepted into one of them is actually kind of a big deal.
Mhm.
So, your kid's got to basically want it to be accepted there. So it kind of puts some earnest on the kid too. Not just how deep mom and dad's pockets are, which I'm sure that's always a factor.
Oh yeah,
But actually, wanting to learn that type of stuff also. So
well, that's kind of the thing too. Here is that over here, the median income is 80, 90 at best. I mean, it's not crazy. You know what? Nah, I'll save it for another.
That sounded like you were going to get into a rant.
Yeah, it grinds my gears.
Really burns my ass.
Yeah, I'll save it.
Oh, that's disappointing.
It's way too far off the subject.
Oh man, but yeah. So I think ultimately, I think it was designed to try and keep people down, both the pharmaceuticals and the education system, and keep people in line. And keep people away from natural things that are going to actually heal them. And the pharmaceuticals, the FDA, all that shit. I mean, the amount of shit that's put in our food, like the FDA is clearly getting paid fucking way too much too. Because I don't know what they do. I really don't. They're letting fake lab grown meat go into production. They're letting freaking dip fuck put his little coating all over the fruit and everything that is all jacked up. They're letting them
expand on that. Dip fuck with his
Bill Gates.
Oh, okay.
And the whole appeal thing. Now I'm like afraid to even eat a fucking avocado because that homo has freaking appeal on everything, and the coating that's supposed to be absolutely terrible for you. And they're talking about putting like COVID vaccines and shit in beef, like they've already started doing it. So it's like, if you're a farmer and you're a rancher and you're putting that shit, I really don't see ranchers doing it.
I don't see them doing it either. So that would mean
it's happening on the back end after the cattle are already purchased.
Yeah, it's either it's happening on the back end, or they're strong arming them into it, or they're giving them an ultimatum.
Yeah, just like they were when they were having them dump oil out.
Because farmers aren't rich by nature.
No.
They do enough to get by. Yeah.
It's pretty ridiculous, dude. But yeah, I'd say, stay frosty, fuckers, and make sure that you're paying attention to what your kids are learning, what you're putting into your body, and I guess the kind of medical treatment that you're getting.
Well, that kind of brings the responsibility down to the individual as well. And on that note is too, you have to look at it, and it was in America like the most obese nation in the world.
Yeah, we're a bunch of fat fucks that are divorced.
Right. So you've got a obesity epidemic basically. But that's our own doing. I think the overconsumption. However, I think some of that, some of that overconsumption is man-made. The addiction to sugar, the addiction to other things, different chemicals, different preservatives that they put in our food.
Yeah, well, and there's even a bunch of people that are on the internet saying they have celiacs or they have, gluten intolerance or whatever, and then they go to Europe and they eat, all the pasta. They go to Italy and eat all the pasta and eat all the cheeses and everything like that, and they're just fucking fine. And then they come back here and they're totally fucked again. So, there's something to it, right? It can't be all just made up, fairy tales and everything. I think that I'm very excited about RFK kind of joining up with Trump because I know that means that if Trump does get back in there, that the FDA and the basically our food supply and people that are fucking with it are going to start being held accountable.
Yeah.
Like there's targets on both of them, flat out. It's true. I mean, they've already tried to kill Trump once. They've tried to kill him, RFK, I think twice since he started running. So there's a target on both of them, and I hope that nothing happens. But the things that they're going to do, I think, with food and medicine is going to flip the script and could really, really change things and turn things around for the United States.
I hope so. And you don't necessarily in this business, you don't get a target on your head unless you're going to out somebody.
Yeah, well, and there's a little there's a study. I wish I could remember the name of it. The name of the town in California, where it's like rich, affluent Asian neighborhood, and they started doing a study where these people they stopped letting their kids get all the vaccines. They just let them get like a handful of like very pertinent ones. And the autism rate is the only place in the US where the autism rate went down.
Really?
And it went down drastically. Like from 26 the study started in 2016 and it went down over the course of 5-6 years. Like just gone down.
That's wild.
It's like, okay, so how many kids have basically that would have lived full, normal, regular lives? How many kids have you guys given autism to because you gave them these fucking things? You know what I mean? Like how many people's lives have been impacted by that shit based off of that study and that study alone? And there's been other ones that have come up against the whole vaccines and stuff like that in the schedule just because you're pumping these tiny little bodies full of so many things. And then there's the like SIDS in Europe. SIDS is like not even a thing.
It's just gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a thing.
Well, it hasn't ever been a thing.
Right. And then, after this, last round of the vid shots, there's sudden adult death now. It's not SIDS, it's like adult SIDS, right?
Great.
Yeah. What would that be? SADS? Sudden adult deaths. Oh, fuck, it's not funny, but it's fucking funny.
Oh my god.
Fuck. Oh, sometimes I just shouldn't say it.
Pray to whatever God you guys pray to tonight. If you're listening to us. And you laughed at that joke.
If you didn't laugh, get the fuck out.
This isn't the podcast for you, my friend.
Oh, we should probably end it there.
Yeah, that's a good note to wrap things
probably
up.
Get the fuck out of this now. I gotta go pray.
It's getting late. I think we're getting a little delirious. I think that's a great place to wrap it up.
Oh fuck. On that note, I'll give a shout out to everybody at the meadery. If you haven't been down there, get up there, go check it out, and get some of our meat. If you can't get up there, get online, beardedviking.com. It's rolling across the bottom of your screen. And try some of the new flavors. Get a hat, get a shirt, get a sweatshirt.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on, and we really appreciate everybody's support. So shout out to you guys, and that's pretty much it. You got anything else?
Yeah, like, share, subscribe, and get us out there. And we will be coming at you live soon.
Yes.
Other than that, I'm gonna flip the top on the water because you can still cheers water too. Pregnant chicks do it all the time. Cheers, motherfuckers, and stay weird, beardos.
Shock 'em always, gang. Thanks for listening.
And we are out.